Welcome back to Afternoon Live. There's a live look from the Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel in Lincoln City. Oh, it looks a lot cooler at the beach. All right, the graduation celebrations are over and the time has come for parents to send their kids off to college for the first time. So here to help us navigate the conflicting emotions from both parents and teens is psychologist Leah Katz is with us today. So good to have you back.
Thank you for having me back. It's so nice to be here.
Well, and this is like probably a very emotional time for families right now.
Oh, for sure. There's so much adjustment happening, and there's so many different things that we're coming out of COVID, like we're still coming out and processing COVID, and so that's just a big deal too, processing all that we've been through, what lies ahead with getting off to college.
Well, I didn't even realize what the high schooler kids have been through in the last few years. I was talking to someone whose child was going to be a senior, and the senior was saying to me, I haven't actually had a normal high school year yet. This might be my first one.
Yep.
I thought to myself, oh my goodness, all these kids that graduated really didn't have those last years to, I don't know, have closure, whatever it might be, and even get used to being away. So there's like anxiety that's built up.
For sure.
And I'm sure then heading out, there might be anxiety as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is something that we really need to pay attention to, that kids have gone through a lot wherever the pandemic has hit them in their development. And with high schoolers, it's a big deal to have lost 2 years of development that otherwise would be getting us ready for going off to college and doing independent things. And that didn't really get a chance to happen over the last couple of years. So I think that there's maybe a little bit of added angst this year.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so what do you do about it?
Yeah, so I think that there's the twofold, and this is how you introduced it. How do we manage our own anxiety as parents and navigating that, getting ready to launch our kids, and how do we help our kids manage their own anxiety? So I think that the two are two separate things. So starting with managing our own anxiety, just figuring out how we can de-stress. And I know this sounds intuitive, but I think we're so busy, so many of us, especially with getting a kid ready for college, we're so busy that we're not really attending to ourselves, and our stress can build and build and build, and then maybe spill over and cause detrimental effects to ourselves and to our child. So attending to our own stress levels, exercising, making sure we're eating, talking to your friends about it, getting together with a group of other mamas who are getting ready to send their kids away. That can be wonderful for helping you manage your own stress.
What do you want to display though to your child or teen? I guess they're an adult practically at this point. Do you let them know that you're anxious about it, or worried, or sad? All these emotions that can come into play, or excited, I guess some parents may be.
Yeah, and I think that last piece is so important. I think, yes, absolutely. Share with your child how you're feeling. If anything, that'll create more of an emotional connection and closeness between the two of you. And all the feelings. So there's anxiety, there's sadness, there's maybe some fear, there's probably a lot of excitement. But with the caveat of tempering that with doing what we just spoke about first, managing your own feelings, making sure that what you're sharing with them is not coming from a place of anxiety, so that anxiety is rubbing off on them.
Okay. And then as far as preparing them to where they're going, should you be researching different avenues for them as far as even if they have a mental health, as far as issue going into this?
Yeah, definitely. So I think there's a lot that we can do as parents to help our kids get ready and set their best foot forward when they go away in terms of taking care of their own mental health. And having that conversation now is great. So if there's an ongoing issue or a preceding issue, talking about, okay, how are we going to manage your mental health when you go away? Let's find a counselor that's close to your college. A lot of colleges actually have really great college counseling centers, so let's make a phone call and figure out how we get that process started. So there's that side of things, and then there's also coming up with a support plan. So this is more of a softer way of managing their anxiety and helping them get ready. What are the skills that you can use if things get tough for you? Who are your support people? What are red flags to look out for in terms of your mental health that you need more support?
What have you found as far as kids going away, how much contact they want to have with their parents? Should you already put that down in the rule books, like we're talking every Sunday or whatever it might be? Yeah,
I think it's a conversation, and I think that's part of prepping them to go away, talking with them about that. So how often would you like to communicate with me? What should that look like? I think if it's predictable and it's not something that's just sort of up in the air and it's not unwanted, kids do, there's been informal studies about that. Kids really do want that connection with their parents. They're still young when they're going away, 18 years old, 19 years old, they're so young. So they want that connection, but I think talking about it is another way of maneuvering the relationship with them as they get more independent and mature.
What conversations do we need to have with them about safety?
Yeah, that's a big one, and I think even for those of us back in our college days, that was a conversation maybe we would have benefited from having with our parents before we went away.
Right.
And it's great that we're having more of these conversations with our kids now. So I think it's just learning to be aware of your surroundings. I talk about this with a lot of the teens that I work with who are going away to college too. Not going out alone, making sure that you have a buddy, especially, for people who are going out at night, or, making sure that you're being smart and aware of what you're doing.
But what if they're going somewhere where they literally have nobody, right? They don't have a friend who's going as well. It's not, a school where other classmates are going to. What do you do then?
Yeah, I think just having some sort of plan. So letting somebody know, this is where I'm going, this is when I plan on being there, I'm going to send you a text when I get there. There's different things that we can do to plan ahead for that, but I do think it is important to have some sort of safety plan / awareness, because it's going away is a big deal, and they're young. So yeah.
Any advice on that first night that you let your child go?
I think that's such a good question. It's that first night, and then it's the following night, and knowing that those feelings will simmer down with time, but they can feel really big in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing that we can do for ourselves is meeting those feelings with self-compassion. I had a meditation teacher who used to say, put out the welcome mat for all your feelings, and it's one of those things that stuck with me that I love. Put the welcome mat out, let whatever feeling comes for you come on in, meet it compassionately, don't judge yourself for it. Maybe do some of your own coping skills, writing, talking to a friend about it, breathing into it or through it. There's a lot of things that we can do for ourselves.
I don't know. I think I'm going to start saving now for like a trip to Hawaii to take that next day. Dr. Leah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks
Great
for having
advice
me.
as always. We're going to have more information about Dr. Leah on our website at KATU.com. Stay right there. Afternoon Live. We'll be right back.